We are headed out to put in our second fall food plot of the year. It is August 26th.
And Hunter's driving.
And we have rain in the forecast for the next
And I'm in the middle.
2 to 3 days. So we're going to document planting this food plot and share it with y'all. Stay tuned. Is that all you could do is make crazy faces?
The fence is up, I think, Dad.
Okay, so I haven't been doing a lot of E-Factor videos just because I've been so busy with real estate. So let me catch you guys up a little bit. Came in here last weekend and the vegetation just wasn't quite dead enough. But if you look now, you can see that a lot of it was like yellow, but it still would have been a little difficult to get through with this ATV disc. Now everything's brown and crispy and it's perfect. It's gonna till up great. I know it's been a minute since I don't think I had this mule last time. Last videos that I've done to show you guys. So I'll show you what this is. It's a 4010 mule, and it's the trans version. What that means is the seat folds back and you can switch between having a larger bed like you see now with a 2 or a 3-seater versus you can fold that seat back and make it a 6-seater, and this part comes back here and then you end up with a shorter bed. So I've still got this same disc. This is still my favorite disc. This is actually, I still don't even own this. This is a Kevin Thayer, Mr. Food Plots, that he loaned me. So he probably forgot I even have it, or he's just nice enough to where he hasn't said anything. I told him I want to buy it from him, but oh. So I'll show you how that works. And we're still planting the same seed that we've been planting for years. I always test it with other stuff and I always go back to it. So this is the Harvest Salad. And then I mix it with, Real World has a blend called Plot Topper. That's a bunch of brassicas, but I also have been buying these from the Rural King with really good luck, just purple top turnips. But they make a blend called Deadly Dozen. This is the Plot Topper mixed with the Harvest Salad, pre-mixed. It's more expensive in a small package, and they pre-mix it for you. If you have a small plot to do, this is going to be the cheapest way. Like if this was my only plot right here, and this U-shapes and goes back around, we'll show you in a minute. If that was my only plot, this bag would be perfect for that, and that's going to be my cheapest route. If you have a bunch of acreage, so I'm doing probably 3-4 acres of all different kind of food plots, then you're going to be better off buying the big bags of Harvest Salad, and then you can buy the plot topper, that comes with.
Paxton.
Is that your name, Paxton?
Paxton.
Yeah. What are we doing today?
We're going to find mushrooms.
No, we're going to plant food plots.
Find mushrooms.
We'll look for, there's some chantilly, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't know how you pronounce it. There's some fall mushrooms, summer mushrooms that we can find back here in a minute. Anyway, this is what we're going to plant today. And I guess I'll show you the seed tag. That will really show you.
I want to get this turned around.
That's fine. Radish, turnip, rape, beets, collards, clover, radish. And that's, when you see the percentage, that's because these seeds are so small. But then you got the seeds that are bigger are, you got wheat, peas, and oats, and winter barley. And this is 90% germination, tested this summer, just a couple months ago. So anyhow, that's what we're gonna plant. We're gonna show you how we do it. What we're gonna do is we're going to till Then we're gonna broadcast the big seed. Then we're gonna disc again to mix it in so some of the seed gets into the dirt. Then we're gonna broadcast the small seed on top at the end and be done.
Do we need this cement on it?
We will. Don't hurt your back. I'll help you with that in a minute. At the end of this video, I will walk you through the logic and the reason for the shape of the food plot, the location of the food plot, the location of the tree stand right there, and explain to you which winds I hunt it with, and basically explain, just walk through the whole setup of what makes it a good spot. So stay tuned to the end. I don't want to talk about that now because it'll be long-winded. So now we're going to jump right into planting this plot. Well, we didn't make it very far. Realized that I forgot the seed spreader. So we're going to drive back. We'll be back in 10, 15 minutes and try it again. He loves driving this, by the way.
Absolutely.
Go slow, please.
Okay.
All right. Been 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We're finally headed back. This is bringing back memories of all the other E-Factor videos. Can't just go normal. Something always happens.
Remember one of the times when we did that plot, the four-wheeler overheated and had an electrical fire? Remember that, Dad?
This is one pass. This is what one pass looks like. It leaves some humps, but I mean, it's plenty for the stuff we're planting, really. And that one pass is working because the stuff's so dead and there's just so much dirt there. And that's the speed that you go with this disc here. Nice and slow. If you go any faster, it bounces. But I mean, look how good of a job this does if you kill all the vegetation, so you're just looking at dirt. All right, good job, Bear. Even in all this stuff, it'll still cut through it pretty good. See? Still does a pretty good job. We'll have to hit this with 2 passes.
Dad.
All right, so I'm gonna show you guys. Basically, all this right here used to be like this in here. A lot of smaller trees because this was logged before, and and there's sections where they really took out a lot of the bigger trees. So, like for example, right here, you have some canopy, but there's some spots in it. It's hard to see from here. This goes back. Anyways, there's a lot of smaller trees. We could very easily come in here and cut down the smaller trees. Cut down a couple of the big trees that are blocking the canopy, and we could have a whole nother part of a food plot. I'm not interested in doing that. This one is perfectly big. It's about a 1/4 acre, 1/3 acre maybe. It works for what we need. Yeah, but I mean, look here, right? There's not much. There's not a ton open, but there's enough to where it gets light. So you need to get light. You know. Actually, ideally, if I wanted, I'd come in here, a couple of these trees, like this one, and I'd knock them back. That way, there's more sunlight that hits. But I'm okay with it. I mean, you can see there's enough sunlight here that it works. So I sprayed a path that goes to the base of the ladder. By the time October hits, hopefully some of this stuff will be down even more. we can get to this without leaving any scent. Also, to be honest, I don't even expect him to shoot a big buck here because of the amount of human intrusion that we have going on to come in here and prep this site and do the food plots. I just don't feel like a big buck is going to come in here. November, all the bets are off, and late season they may, but we're going to see if Hunter can kill a doe with his recurve from this spot. And look, he's getting to where this is looking pretty good. He'll hit it with 2 or 3 passes, and then we'll spread some seed. But look at this, when you're sitting down in this stand, right? Shot. And look how this vegetation hides you, conceals you from anything over on that side of the food plot. But look what happens if you want to shoot something over there and you just stand up. Boom. Now you can shoot to over there. Then we got a little window right here we can shoot to. Might need to trim some of these branches so I can shoot right here a little better.
The tank is coming off. And guess what? And that means the ladder's coming off. This is this.
All right, I want to show you guys another tool. Love this thing, little Ryobi pole saw. We're gonna put it together, battery powered, and we can trim up some of the branches that have grown up since the last few years, so we have some good shooting lanes.
That's good.
Hey, Dad, look.
Okay, so Hunter's disked it up. We're gonna spread some of this, some of the bigger seed, the oats, the wheat, the peas. We're gonna spread it over. Then we're gonna disc over the whole thing again so it works that into the soil. Then we're gonna come back on top with the smaller seeds and put one more layer on without disking it. Okay, so now we're putting this out. This is basically the same thing we were putting out, but it adds a bunch of small seeds in. See if we can find some here to show you. All right, see those little black seeds? Those are probably some turnips, and there's some other stuff in here too. So that's what we're doing. And I'm also going to add in the purple top turnips as well. And I'm gonna put a little bit of seed on this trail in the woods. It's shaded, just kind of an experiment to see how well that does or doesn't grow compared to out here. Okay, took a break, got the first food plot done, and now on to the second, or the last food plot. Actually, this one's kind of like 3 food plots in one. But this is like where I have a lot of my food. Now, I'm gonna, with much reluctancy, I guess I'm gonna show you guys my bean plot, which is the big one. And it's absolutely horrid. I had to replant because we had a drought. And I had a bunch of Roundup Ready beans, real world beans, but I didn't have the Enlist, which means that I could not spray after I planted for water hemp. So I've got more water hemp in this bean field than I do beans. You can see behind me, here's some little short beans. But let's just walk down here and take a peek. And it's so bad I ended up spraying and mowing down a bunch of them in the middle. And I'm gonna plant Deadly Dozen stuff in there. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if these beans even get pods on them. You know, I don't even know. Here, I'll show you. It's I mean, as long as they get pods on them, the deer are gonna pick through them, and it's food. But here, check it out. So this is the path that I've cleared, and we're gonna do like the Deadly Dozen or whatever, oats, wheat, peas. We're gonna do some fall planting here, which is, I think that's about 30 yards. We'll have like 30 to 50 yard shot to this plot from that blind. And as you can see, that blind by hunting season should be completely covered up almost with Egyptian wheat. It's hard to see from here, but you can barely see it poking up. That's about 8 foot tall Egyptian wheat so far, and it's gonna get a little taller. And what that's gonna allow is, that's gonna allow us to get in and out of the backside of the blind without any deer seeing us. And it just hides the blind a little bit, and it doesn't look as sticking up as much. So anyway, yeah, here's the beans. I mean, it's pretty embarrassing, but I don't even know if there's any bean pods on them yet. Let's see. Well, they're just starting. If you look here, that's some bean pods just starting. So I mean, I guess the beans are about up to here on me. It's just the water hemps up to here. So we'll see how it does. I'm not too proud of it. But even if the beans don't turn out at all, it's going to be cool because we're going to have some fall food here right in the middle for them. We're going to do some paths through it and stuff. So one way or another, we're going to have some food. And all I did here is I just mowed this down, and then I came back in and sprayed it with 2,4-D and Roundup. So it's perfect for disking. And if we get some rain, it's going to be good. But the deer have been coming along here and eating the beans that they can reach. Just the green part. But look, you can see the little bean pods. It looks like they're starting to form. So these were really late planted beans. What happened was I planted with a planter, or I broadcasted beans early. We had a drought. A month later was sometime in June. I think it was the first week of June. I was like, all right, I got to pull the plug on this. These beans are not growing. They're all dead from the drought. And we just started getting some rain that time. So I said, I borrowed a planter from my neighbor and I planted the Real World beans. And yeah, just, I couldn't spray. And the weeds got out of control. So next year, we're going to be using a planter from day one. Even if you have a drought with a planter, the beans are likely to survive. So I want to show you the layout real quick. So you saw the layout for the blind, but here's a layout. So I have this little section of fencing on one side of the plot that's about 40 yards long. And what that does, here, let's switch the camera. What that does is the deer are going to come from here, and then this is all sanctuary. So the deer are going to come basically like this direction, and hopefully headed towards the beans if there is anything worth a crap of beans in there. But let me back up so you can see this real quick. We're going to plant this little section with oats. This is about 1/3 of an acre, maybe 1/4 acre. Anyway, so they could go around. I think they're gonna come hit these oats up on their way into the beans and the other stuff I'm gonna plant in there. Anyhow, of course they could go that way, but if they're here, a lot of times the deer would, they just walk straight across. Well, I've got a stand right here that you can access from the river. Very sneaky, perfect for a north or a west wind. And they're gonna basically walk right around this fence. So you see there's about a 15-yard gap there. So when I'm in this tree stand right here, which I put it really low down in the tree. Here's another. Look at that, deer tracks. I put it really low down because that's where all the cover is. Like, I mean, can you imagine if I were to put the stand like normal height, like up here, you're wide open, Right here, you literally can't even see that I have a tree stand there.
I was looking. I struggled looking.
I can't even see it through the camera. You're just gonna have to trust me. There is a lock-on stand hiding behind all this greenery right there. And those are like vines and some different stuff that stays green for a while.
I see the strap.
Can you see the strap, Paxton?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, climb up from the river, climb up, not too high, just enough to get hidden behind that vegetation. And you can shoot by poking, just like your bow will be right over the vegetation. And a lot of times the deer will come up out of the river, come up here, and then we'll walk the edge. Or what they used to do is kind of walk the edge and then they'd cut to get into the middle of the beans because they feel safe out in the middle. Well, in this case, they're going to have to walk around the fence edge to get there. Of course, that stand, that's good for the kids, that blind with the wind blowing back that way. But yeah, that's basically the setup. So we're going to plant this with oats, and then we're going to plant the middle there with the harvest salad and turnip mix. And I have my helpers with me. Hope is going to spread some fertilizer in that, or Paxton. They're going to argue over who can spread the fertilizer. I will be more than happy to let any of them. But same deal with the mule. We're going to disc it up. And I've got harvest salad and this. I got these just regular oats. They're just so dang darn cheaper than the other stuff. So, and I'm gonna do this whole section with the oats, and see how they do, just straight oats. So, yeah, and then we'll spread some turnips over the top in some places and go from there.
And my dad turned it.
About 1 foot. I'll tell you when to stop. Whoa! There we go.
Closer.
Again, there's where the deer come from. I just walked this way and you can see the tree stand. It opens up right here. Wide open shot. Now, of course, you come back this way. I want to leave all that brush. That's hiding the stand really well. But then right here, they walk through this little gap and you have a wide open shot. So let me show you what we got going on as far as food plot design. So the thicket and where the deer live is that way. Okay? I know that. The food and the ag, you can kind of see there's ag that way. So anyways, the deer are moving this way. They're gonna come into the food plot from this side in the evenings. So let's go over here real quick and just imagine you're a deer. You enter here or here and you come into this food plot, right? And you're headed this way, but they're gonna come in here just to get a snack or a bite for a few minutes before they feel comfortable going out into the big ag fields. So they'll hit this plot a little bit earlier during the day, maybe when it's still light outside and we can shoot them. And I've got some, I left this tree. This is a big white oak tree. I left it. It'll drop acorns, white oaks in here also. This is a hickory. I'm probably gonna do some logging, get some of my trees logged. I'll get the hickory logged. So then I think there's another oak. Yeah, here's another white oak right here. Look at that tree. Anyway, so you get some white oaks in here. Anyhow, the deer are gonna filter through here and maybe go that way. Maybe they're gonna filter through and go that way. I'm gonna try to put something over there. I'm gonna try to put something in food-wise over there that I don't do here. So maybe they'll want to walk through the plot and get whatever's over there, because deer like a variety. So, and then they'll wander that way. Anyways, our tree stand, where is that sucker? It's hidden. See this like clump of brush here? Go climb up in that stand, Hunter. Go walk around that way. There's a path I sprayed to get there. Yeah, so you don't get poison ivy. Anyways, a lot of the deer will just kind of browse around over here, and they're gonna ultimately just head right through this way. I'll put a link below. I have a video of Emily, my daughter, when she was 7, shooting a deer out of a log pile blind in that corner. Anyways, you can see Hunter getting up in the tree stand there. It's perfectly centrally located. And what I have here is I left this little here. I always do something like that. Like I love a U-shaped food plot with like something in the middle there, because if the deer are here and let's say they want to go this way, right, which is the way they're naturally going, they're gonna walk around it, and then that'll force them by the stand. Versus like if they were just gonna walk the edge over there, they're gonna walk around it. Now if they're headed this way, well that's fine. They're coming through here. Now up here, ready to shoot them. See Hunter up there in the stand? He's got a recurve he's gonna hunt with this year. This would be the perfect spot for a recurve. So look, I've got some logs. See, when I cleared this food plot 4 years ago, I pile brush up, right? Kind of like a fence. Now they can walk through that obviously if they want to, but why would they when they can walk right through here? And watch. Right. You can't see the stand. And kaboom. Once they get here, that's about a 12-yard shot to that stand right there. So perfect for the recurve. Hunter, guys, walk out that way. Like, don't get in any poison ivy, please. But yeah, then you can see there's the ag. That's where they're ultimately headed. Interesting fact, I'll also drop a link below. Hunter shot his first buck out of that stand with a crossbow when he was maybe 8, 9, something like that. All right. Yep, so that's the layout. We're just gonna put a food plot in here, something that the deer are gonna want to swing by and take a bite of before they go out to the big ag fields. And also note, okay, we're gonna hunt this with a south or a southwest wind, maybe even a west wind, but southwest or straight south is perfect for this. Because we can come in like this and the deer aren't going to be smelling us, and we can get up in the stand. Also, if the deer come in to eat, they won't smell us while they're in this field. Now I say, so if a south wind, that's perfect because for the deer not to smell us, but that's not perfect for the deer. So like a big buck, for example, or a big mature doe, she's not going to feel comfortable necessarily walking with the wind because she can't smell where she's headed or smell any danger, predators, hunters. But if that's a south, so if it's a southwest or a west wind, yeah, that part of the food plot over there if they get there, they could smell you, potentially. But if you can imagine, if it's a south or a west wind and the wind's kind of going this way, you could imagine a buck might feel comfortable walking up this way, because the scent's blowing this way, and he's going to be able to smell anything, over here. So he may walk up this side, and at this point he's scent checked the whole woods. He can scent check this whole side of the food plot, and he can see it now. And he might go, I don't see any danger out there, and he might be inclined to walk out here and grab him a bite and then go back. So anyway, that's our setup. We're gonna plant this real quick and show you how it goes. Sorry for being so long-winded explaining my setup, and yeah,